Good evening, you're watching Estuary News. Coming up, it's the return of the Lincolnshire World's Festival of Archaeology. We look up into the sky for the second part of our astronomy series, and my guest today is Helen Pittman from the Walkers Are Welcome group in Caister. Welcome to Estuary News, I'm Erica Barker, but first here's Richard Morris with the news headlines.
Humberside Police are appealing for information after thefts of several items of jewellery from 3 homes in the East Riding. Between December 2014 and this month, thefts have occurred on Hawthorne Avenue in Willoughby, Brackenwoods in Little Wheaton and West Hallgarth in Brough. Some of the jewellery is particularly distinctive and police are keen to track it down. Anyone with any kind of information relating to these incidents are urged to contact Humberside Police. In Bloom judging has been taking place in Grimsby. One of the sites judged was the Longitude Wood, which is being judged for the first time. The judging comes on the back of recent award wins of the community project. Christina McGilligan-Fell and Simon Yeo, directors of the John Harrison Foundation, say the project has come so far since its beginnings.
We started a little bit late in a way in November, but it's only when we got the go-ahead. But I think today it's always wonderful to see the RHS on site, and the poor judges. Who would be a judge? And the better it gets, the worse it is being a judge. But today was immensely useful, I think.
Humberside Fire and Rescue are hosting their Rescue Day. The event has been running for 8 years and it has become the largest event of its kind in the world and has major emergency services and partner agencies involved. The event this year will take place on Saturday at Seven Lakes Country Park in Crowle, North Lincolnshire. Next Friday, Market Raisin will be transformed for a charity event raising money for 4 local charities. The event, dubbed Funky Friday, after much discussion among Market Raisin town councillors, will take place at the Market Square and feature many activities for everyone to take part in and enjoy. The event is an evening one. The councillors are hoping that more will attend as a result.
We're going to have a barbecue, we're going to have the opportunity to bar. We will hopefully have bouncy castles and stores of that sort. We will also be having charity raising stores so people can come along and buy things which they can take home, but more importantly give their money towards the charities which they want to support.
That's all from me for now, and I'll be back with more news soon. Don't forget, if you have any news for us in the meantime, then please don't hesitate to contact us on Grimsby 01472 31553. You can email us on news@estuary.tv, or you can search us on Facebook or Twitter. Bye for now.
Thank you, Richard. Well, joining me in the studio is walking enthusiast Helen Pittman from Caister's Walkers Are Welcome group. Hello, Helen, how are you?
I'm fine, thank you.
So can you start off by telling me what the group is and what does it involve?
Right, well, it's part of the nationally accredited Walkers Are Welcome group. Caister was accredited in April 2012. And what we do is we've got a small band of very, very enthusiastic volunteers who regularly, well, every month we have 2 walks, planned walks, which anybody can attend. One is a short town walk around Caister, talking about the history of the area and looking at the prominent buildings in the town, and there is also a longer walk out into the countryside around Nettleton or Rothwell or Claxby, any of those surrounding villages. It can be anything from 4 or 5 miles up to a 10-mile walk. Which,
right. Do you need to be fit to do this then, Helen?
For a 10-mile one, yes, I would imagine. But it always says you can access information of where the walks are on our website, which is www.walkerscaisters.com, where all the walks are listed for the year. And it does tell you what kind of terrain, so it will give you some idea of whether you would be able to, whether it's hilly or... But the town walks are very gentle, go at a very gentle pace.
Because there's a great deal of heritage, isn't there, in the area?
There is. Caister's history stretches from the Romans right through you know, all the Georgians, the Victorians. There are lots of historic buildings in the town, and the civic society who tend to lead those walks know a vast amount about everything to do with those periods.
So as well as walking, you can learn a thing or two.
Exactly, yeah, yeah.
And what about being a volunteer? You always after volunteers?
Yeah. I mean, as I say, we've got a very small band in Caister, but they're very, very enthusiastic. It would be nice, though, to attract some younger members, because obviously...
and what do you think they could offer?
Well, they would probably have different thoughts about what would be a good walk to lead. They would have ideas that we probably haven't even thought of. I mean, some of ours, as I say, are historical walks or archaeological walks. The walks out in Nettleton, for example, along the Nettleton Valley, which is part of the Viking Way. There's a lot of history about the ironstone mining there, and there's a lot of research being done at the present moment. A small group of us in Nettleton are working with Daniel Wold to research that. So it would be good for any age, really. It's a learning curve for everybody.
Oh, that's great, Helen. We'll come back to you in a little while.
Thank you.
Well, coming up, we see what's visible in the night sky. And Richard Morris will have the sport.
I want to see Grimsby put on the map.
Extraordinary qualities, unmatched in anywhere else in Britain.
We need to act with one voice.
I was absolutely shocked, I'll tell you the truth.
More police officer hours spent on patrol preventing crimes from happening.
This year sees the return of the popular Lincolnshire World's Festival of Archaeology, where people have been encouraged to learn more about the heritage of the local area. And Dave Nunn went digging.
This year sees the return of an event encouraging people to dig deep and discover local archaeology. The Lincolnshire World Archaeology Festival, which is in its second year, runs alongside a national event.
We do the Archaeology Festival in line with the national one that takes place from July the 11th to the 27th. This year we've got Kevin Leahy launching our festival at Spilsby Franklin Hall 2 p.m, talking about prehistory in Lincolnshire, and then from then on we've got all sorts of events going on across the Lincolnshire Wolds to highlight the interesting archaeology that we've got here.
Sam says that since working on the project, people have learnt a lot about Lincolnshire's heritage, and they're continuing to educate people about the historical significance of Lincolnshire, which many people are unaware of, is a key aim of the festival.
Well, the Daniel project's been going for 2 years now, and we've been working with community groups to help research their local area. So the people that we've been involved with are really starting to understand about where they live and how the settlements have come about. But still there's a lot more to be discovered, and we hope that the festival help raise awareness with that.
Just a short walk away from the Roman camp there's a rare chalk stream. Richard Dawson, who teaches kids about the outdoors, brings kids to the rarely seen stream near the old Roman road. He says it's important to teach kids about the outside in the digital age.
It puts a whole different perspective on learning. Children in the classroom now are very, very kind of focused on data and passing exams, and what we're able to do is just enrich their learning here so that it makes, as I said, learning live.
He also says it's nice to see parents bringing their kids to the events that will take place in the Archaeology Festival, and that's vital to getting kids to appreciate the outdoors and off their computers.
I think it's great that parents are working alongside their children, because in this world of computers and games machines, I think children sometimes, their activities are very insular, and for them to be able to share with their parents and their friends and their family, it's just a great thing.
Still with me in the studio is Helen Pittman. So Helen, I know you were saying about volunteers. Would you like to get other towns involved in this group as well?
Yes, certainly. I mean, at the present time we've got 3 towns in Lincolnshire, Market Raisden, Horncastle and ourselves, and we work together. We've actually we've been successful in getting the national conference in 2016 to actually host in the 3 towns, so that will be a good time to showcase the area to people from outside.
And that's fantastic news, isn't it? Because what does the conference involve?
Well, we will be everybody from that's involved in the national Walkers are Welcome group will send a delegate, hopefully, so we'll be able to showcase our area, which is pretty well unknown to a lot of people, to people from all over the country, as far afield as Scotland and Wales as well. So,
and how many people do you think that'll attract?
Well, there are over 100 towns. I think there's probably about 120 towns now that are nationally accredited, but we are always looking for more towns to join the scheme, and myself as mentor for the Lincolnshire and East Anglia region would certainly welcome contact from any other town or village in the area who's interested in getting involved.
And do you have the dates of when that's taking place, or where people can find out when it's taking place?
Well, the national conference is for towns that are already accredited. It's not open to everybody to attend that, but we have got our annual walking festival in September, which again is jointly hosted with Market Raisin and Horncastle, and that is over 3 weekends in September.
And can anyone go to that? Is that free?
Yeah, we do ask for a small donation because we do have certain outgoings. We have to obviously promote ourselves, we have insurance, we have a website to run, that kind of thing, but on the whole, yeah, it's just a great day out. We've actually got a leaflet now which is available in most libraries, also available to look at on the website. So yeah, get yourself along. We've already got some interested people in taking part in the walk. So.
Oh, that's great, Helen. Well, thank you for your time. I really appreciate you speaking to me.
Thank you. Bye.
It's now time for another Dog of the Week.
Dog number 53 is an Akita. She's named Holly because she is microchipped. We're doing our bit about her. She has been out rehomed, but she came back unfortunately. Didn't get on with her cat. I think it was more interested about eating it. So it's good with kids, house trained, and just a year old. So pretty nice dog, really.
Joining me in the studio now then is Dave Nunn with all the week's news. Dave, what's going on?
I've been on the news a lot this week, but people get my name mixed up.
Dave, you're on here all the time. What's happening?
Well, obviously the biggest thing that happened yesterday was, of course, the budget. And there's lots of things that will affect people around here. So we've got introduction of national living wage going up to $7.20 in April, £9 an hour by 2020. I was quite happy because I thought I'd be being paid that, but it's only over 25.
Right, okay. And when is that? Is that 2020?
Yeah, 2020 it'll be £9, but in
£9.
April 2016 it goes up to $7.20. So I won't be getting a pay rise, but it's worth a try, isn't it?
I mean, the cost of living by 2020, that will rise also, won't it? So do you think that would make a big difference that it's going to £9?
Yeah, it might a bit, but obviously you say the cost of living will probably go up, fuel prices will probably go back up, so it'll probably balance out a bit, but it'll still make a difference. I mean, they estimate it could be over £5,000 extra a year to go into people's pockets, which is, you know, quite a bit of money really, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, some other things that will affect people around there as well. We've got public sector pay rises stay at 1% for the next 4 years. We've got fuel duty will remain frozen, so no drastic fuel rises.
That's good news, isn't it, about fuel?
It is, yeah, especially if people like us use quite a lot of it. It'll be quite good news for people not to have to spend more money filling up the cars. We've got local councils are given the power to decide Sunday trading laws, which is quite an interesting one.
Now, this has been in the news a lot, hasn't it, about these Sunday trading laws. What's happening with that?
Basically, the whole idea is to try and change it so big shop chains, big supermarket chains will be able to stay open longer on Sundays. I think now they can only trade for about 5 hours, I think it is. So smaller traders can trade for a lot longer, but I think it's the point that, you know, most people work a 5-day week and they can't get out to the shops during the week, so most people do it on a Sunday, and I think it makes sense, to be honest.
Because some smaller traders have been saying that this would have an impact on them, wouldn't it? Because if the bigger stores are open longer, people may choose to go to them, and that may affect the trade for the smaller traders.
It definitely could, yeah, but I remember I've seen on the news last night that the economic benefits could be, you know, quite big, and they did a trial of it during the Olympics, and the local economy of London did gain a lot of benefits from having longer store opening times. So it does benefit quite a few people, I think.
Okay.
And obviously the biggest changes are to do with benefit cuts, child tax credits being cut after 2 children, and obviously working age benefits made the same level. It could affect millions of people, and I imagine a lot of people around here will probably be affected as well by that.
And what's happening with tax credits?
So child tax credits will stop after you've had 2 children. I know now you can have as many children as you want, I think, and keep getting the tax credits, but now it'll stop. And I read something just on my phone before you came in that said it could lose families up to £1,000 a year. And the benefit changes overall impacts families for about £260 a year, and that's about 13 million families, so it's quite a lot of people that are affected.
Do you think what was announced, do you think that was expected really? Has there been any big surprises?
Maybe the living wage, but most of it, government cuts were promised in the election manifesto, and they said they wanted to cut the welfare state anyway, so it's not really a huge surprise. So, yeah.
Okay, so anything else going on?
Yeah, so sticking with Grimsby, we've had the council cabinet have been talking about Grimsby Town stadium plans, because they never seem to stop talking about, and this has been going on for years.
This has been going on for a long time, hasn't it?
It definitely has, yeah. So they've signed off an independent study which concluded that a new stadium somewhere in the borough would be highly likely to deliver real benefits in the areas of positive community impact and social value. And there's a couple of areas that are being considered: a 14,000 seat stadium, Peaks Parkway. They wanted to build one near the A1. There's lots of places.
When is this going to be completed?
Well, they don't really have any idea, because every time they try to float it, people object. They tried to build one near Great Kitchener where I live, and people objected to that, and I imagine people will object again as well. There's already been some criticisms, so who knows?
Okay, so thank you for that. We'll move on now.
I want to see Grimsby put on the map.
Extraordinary qualities, unmatched in anywhere else in Britain.
We need to act with one voice.
I was absolutely shocked, I'll tell you the truth.
More police officer hours spent on patrol preventing crimes from happening.
In the second of our Sky at Night features, Dr. Michael Martin Smith, President of the Hull and East Riding Astronomical Society, explores Saturn.
Saturn is very beautifully seen now. It wasn't until 1676 that anybody knew Saturn had rings, and it took them quite a few years to work out that they were rings. For decades beforehand, people had seen blobs around Saturn, and at first thought they were Toby jugs with 2 ears. Then they thought they were just excrescences attached to the end, and it wasn't till Huygens came along and Cassini came along that they actually saw them as rings. During the course of the last couple of centuries, many moons have been discovered around Saturn. We think we're a big guy with 1 moon, and Mars has 2. Saturn has hundreds. It has at least 61 that are well named, and countless others that haven't been got around to having more than a number yet. This one here is called Titan. As you'd expect with a name like that, it's very large. It's larger than the planet Mercury. It's about 4,800 kilometres in diameter, if not a bit more, 5,000 kilometres in diameter. And that has had visitors, or at least a robotic visitor called the Cassini space probe, which set off on a 7-year mission to get to Saturn, then went into orbit and has been working away until very recently, taking a series of bypasses, and it's had 2 extensions to its missions already because there's so much learnt from it. Titan, you will see, is not a bland, featureless planet. It's actually got clouds, it has weather, it has dark formations on the surface, which, if we didn't know better, you would think of were like the Great Lakes in Michigan. And indeed, they are. There's only one slight difference. They don't contain water. They contain liquid gas and liquid ethane, the things that Immingham produces and refines in vast quantities. It was found with Cassini that there was activity on Enceladus, and these things there are called tiger stripes, and they are now known to be crevasses in the ice crevasses, from which steam bursts out on regular intervals, and there is a liquid ocean underneath. And the steam has been shown to contain various salts and chemicals which are not dissimilar to those found at the bottom of the Atlantic Ocean. So there is a possibility that in Enceladus there is a process rather like that, which with volcanic eruptions underneath, throwing up smokers into the water, and chemistry could be developing there. Astrobiologists have great interest in there. They envisage possibly landing or even passing a probe over the ice and sniffing the chemistry.
Let's go over to the sport with Richard Morris.
Last night, Grimsby Town beat Cleethorpes Town 4-0 in front of a record attendance of 1,100 at the Bradley Community Stadium. On Wednesday, Kirmington rider Guy Martin gained his first victory at the Southern 100 in spectacular style as he led the race from start to finish. Martin completed the 4.25-mile circuit in 16:17.148, in contrast to his nearest rival, Michael Dunlop, who finished in 16:17.240. He was hoping to defend his title he gained last year earlier today. Hull FC coach Lee Radford has expressed his frustration at the loss of Mickey Paye through his two-match suspension at such a crucial stage of the season, saying there has been no consistency with the decisions made by the RFL disciplinary panel. However, the Black and Whites might have influential second rower Mark Mincello back from injury for their game on Sunday against Castleford Tigers. In ice hockey, the Hull Pirates have begun their recruitment of players, with Hull-born forward GB under-20 international Sam Towner signing on the dotted line for Dominic Osmond's side. The club will be hoping this can be the start of a series of signings in preparation for the Premier Ice Hockey League season. That's all from me for now, and as per usual, if you have any sports news for us, then please don't hesitate to contact us on Grimsby 01472 31553, email us on sport@estuary.tv, or contact us on Twitter @estuary.tv, or search us on Facebook. Bye for now.
That's all we've time for. Thanks to my guest, Helen Pittman. If you have a news story, then go to our Facebook or Twitter pages @Estuary TV, or you can email us news@Estuary TV, or you can phone us on Grimsby 01472 315561. Until tomorrow, good evening.
Hello and welcome to Estuary TV's weather. A rather cloudy start on Friday, and early showers should soon ease, then dry and warm through much of the day with sunny spells developing and rain arriving overnight with a maximum temperature of 24 degrees. Rain or showers at times on Saturday,